Good morning, everybody. Hope this microphone is loud and clear. It is brand new. So, it is almost the open here, and I'm just going to go over really quickly. I do have an order down at 18,428 here in the NQ, just in case it trades. I want to go over that because we're going to the open here very quickly, or shortly, I should say, not necessarily quickly. It'll happen over the same period of time as it did yesterday. But there's an extension. The reason I'm drawing this, and I'll just go over this before I go over anything else. It seems to me that there is an anchor that was used from what is the 330 low yesterday to that end of day high, and that's where this bid came from. That completed in the overnight session. That same anchor new high, we've had a bid here in the overnight session. It looks like on the 38% retracement. Maybe we don't sweep these lows, but if we do, I'm looking basically at that first support right below it. That's going to kind of line up with where we would be filling the gap, or within that area. So that's where I got why I got that order there at 14 or 18,428. But we'll go over some other things. Higher time frame here. Now yesterday, volatility picked up again. This market is definitely still skittish. The full halfway back long talked about us maybe coming down into a 38 retest, and I would still want to be aware of that level moving forward. That's an 18,265s. That's the 38 of the full halfway back long from the lows of the 6 to high. So just be aware of that. We ended up going down and completing those short profit targets that were in the morning trade plan yesterday, and we actually closed almost right on them. So all the selling below this 18,353, which was the short target from the morning trade plan, we actually rotated all the way down to that negative 61, and then this next measured move has technically broken overnight, but it's held here on the open. So that's something the bulls are going to want to see happen to get back up above that 61 and confirm. If we stay below this, I would be a little wary, but it's already broken, so I'm not too concerned about it. It did break in the overnight session, but we reopened right on it. What I do want to watch is where the full halfway back short is from what is going to be the highs of the week on Tuesday to this low here on Wednesday. And that seems to have been where the resistance came in the overnight session. So as we go into the open, we're going to have that lower mid, which is ideally where I want to be taking longs below at this point in time. The long I have right at is like 10 points above it. So, I mean, give or take 10 points, I'm okay within these ranges. But if we can sweep back above this overnight high, then I think bulls can re-engage. But I'm more in the camp that this is going to be a two-sided market, and we're going to want to respect today's 18,630 full halfway back short when it trades. So if we come all the way back down to lows,
order submitted.
The one thing I want to watch is just where is that 78% of the range, and it's going to be at the bottom of that 15-minute fair value gap and also line up with our 38% retracement. So the bottom of today's range I want to pay attention to at 18,264. If we get below and hold below that, I think we could maybe continue to move lower, but I have a neutral to slash bearish bias as long as we're below this 18,630. Moving on to the S&P 500, once again, still inside some higher time frame draws. You had that full halfway back short at 5,500 and the full halfway back long here at 5180 area. Yesterday, we traded a short and completed a short. Wrong button. I go here to, I ended up getting filled on that NQ, so that's going on in the room. So we just traded that lower mid. Okay, on these neutral days, I like longs above the lower mid and shorts above the upper mid. So at this case, we just traded that lower mid in both of these indexes. In fact, it looks like we went right to it in the Nasdaq. But yesterday we completed the short at 53.05, 53.06 area. And then once again, just like the Nasdaq, we did continue down to the negative 61, and we did not hold that next measured move. So the overnight high to low did not hold that next measured move, which means we're not in a series lower. It just seems to have been one move. But what I wanted to watch is Monday's high to low. I actually should have drawn this in the Nasdaq too. 53.75 is going to be that level. I'm going to pay attention to that as resistance here today. Go back to the Nasdaq real quick. I just want to. I wasn't actually measuring Monday's high. I should have been. Come on. I think I need a new computer. Even though we came from Tuesday's high, I do want to be aware of the high of the week. Sunday night, Monday. If we get back up to those levels. All right. So that's what I have here for these indexes. If we don't hold the sequence that we were in yesterday and get back up and sweep these overnight highs, if we can get to these overnight highs, I think they're a great short opportunity later in the day. So 53.75 would be a great short opportunity later in the day, and then really the 18,683 in the NQ. But as far as if we don't hold this support here, I would just look for us to kind of get down towards the 78% of this range. So like 52.80 in the ES. You can actually see yesterday's low to today's high has stuck its 50% or chase in here thus far this morning. So we'll see if that continues to act as support, and if we head right back up to the upside. Jerome spoke. Now it's OpEx, probably going to be, like I said, back and forth, and I'm looking for a move, ideally up into the 53.75. So that's what I have here for the Nasdaq and yes. I want to take a look at gold. Gold is the strongest trend out of anything I look at right now. So I'm actually going to go and review GC. There is an extension that I would love to see trade. That's going to be from Friday's high of last week. I was drawing this yesterday, as you can see. We made new highs, and I'm just drawing that to the new high. We actually have already traded that 38% retracement here, but if we can get to 50, it's going to be a 33.17 half. 33, but also 33.30.3. Talk about a tongue twister. 33.30.3 is the 38 of the current extension. It's gotten its bid here early this morning, or super late last night, depending on how you want to look at it. But this continues to be a market that is up once again. Up on the year, up on the month, up on the week. It's not up on the day right now, but it's basically been the strongest, best performing thing this year. Maybe there's some other obscure markets, but gold is off to one of the strongest starts, and we should continue to trade from the long side. If we were to drop into a deeper setup, we'll pay attention to that when that happens. But at this point in time, if we can get a 33.17 half in gold, I'm a buyer. And then oil's getting up here to the top of the range. I think it's getting a little ahead of itself. I would short oil in the attempts. I think oil's going to break through the low of the day. So actually we might have a short setup in CL here somewhere. But really, what I want to see happen is I want to see oil fall back through the midpoint, 61.71s, and then look for a long below 61.71. So I'll pay attention to that. Oil until it trades the midpoint, I would be looking for shorts here today. That's going to wrap up my morning trade plan. I'll share these levels with you guys in the room, and then everybody trade safe. Have a great day, and no market tomorrow.